time is 1:15. Here's the news edited by Dulmin Samarasinghe and assisted by Nilusha Jaiman, read by Victor Raj. Here are the headlines of the local news. More Grama Niladhari divisions isolated. All activities in hotels, including parties, gatherings, events, pubs and nightclubs will be prohibited. Court proceedings will be limited from 3rd to 7th of this month. Considering of opening school postponed. Foreign news, Australians could face jail or fines if they return from India. Sports, cricket, Bangladesh loses quick wickets in the second test against Sri Lanka. Entertainment, Grammy Awards scrapped controversial voting committees. Local news in detail. The National Operations Centre for Prevention of COVID-19 said 7 more Grama Niladhari divisions in Piliyandala, Ambalanguda, Dehiyatta Kandiya and Kalavana have been isolated with effect from this morning. Accordingly, Nampammanua and Gorakapitiya Grama Niladhari divisions in Piliyandala, Godahena and Thalagasgoda Grama Niladhari divisions in Ambalanguda, Dehiyatta Kandiya and Khadirapana Grama Niladhari divisions in Dehiyatta Kandiya and Hapugoda Grama Niladhari division in Kalavana isolated. Head of the National Operations Centre to Prevent COVID-19 and Commander of Sri Lanka Army General Savendra Silva said all activities in hotels, including parties, gatherings, events, pubs and nightclubs will be prohibited after 10 p.m. today. The suspension will be in effect for a period of 2 weeks. Senior Advisor to Justice Minister President's Counsel U.R.D. Silva says all court proceedings will be limited from the 3rd to 7th of this month. He said that the accused and suspects are not required to be physically present in courts during that time. The decision has been taken after taking into account the present situation in the country. Considering of opening of schools has been postponed until 7th of this month. The Ministry of Education has taken steps to conduct educational activities online during that time. The Minister said that e-Takshalava and Guru Gedar programs will help students and teachers in this regard. Those programs will continue even after opening the schools. Minister Professor J.L. Perez said that opening schools on the 10th will be considered on Friday. This news comes to you from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.
Receive early cash advances and an unmatchable bonus at maturity from Sri Lanka Insurance Early Cash.
More local news. In the northern province, 34 COVID-19 infected people were identified yesterday. 27 cases have been found from Jaffna. 9 of them are police officers. Meanwhile, the Director of Northern Province Health Services, Dr. A. Kedeswaran, said 2 in Vavuniya and 5 in Mannar district have been identified with virus infection. They have been identified following 644 PCR tests conducted at the Jaffna Teaching Hospital and Jaffna University Medical Faculty laboratories. Police have arrested 264 more people within the past 24 hours for failing to adhere to quarantine regulations. Police spokesperson Dia Jajit Rohana said 4,455 arrests in total have been made by the police since 30th of October last year. He said this is the highest number of arrests within the period of 24 hours for offences under the quarantine law. The Special Task Force has taken into custody 1,500 kilograms of bead leaves smuggled into the country from India. 6 suspects and 3 vehicles have been taken into custody by the STF following a raid carried out on the coastal belt of Negombo. Police said the value of the illegal bead leaves is more than 10 million rupees. That ends local news.
Finished? You have 1 more hour to write the exam.
Yes, sir. Always early.
Receive early cash advances and an unmatchable bonus at maturity from Sri Lanka Insurance Early Cash.
A mother knows the pain of each member of the family. Siddhalepa, the trusted relief for aches and pains.
An effective therapy for relief from cold, sneezing, flu, headaches, swelling due to toothaches, rheumatic, discomforts, and muscular aches and pains. Siddhalepa, the Veda Mahatmya in every home.
The main news story is brought to you by Siddhalepa Veda Mahatmya.
The National Operations Center to Prevent the Spread of COVID-19 said that 1,662 new COVID patients were found by this morning. 29 out of them have arrived from overseas. The highest number of infected persons, which is 329, has been reported from the Kurunegala district. Colombo district has recorded 317. Gampaha district 193, and other districts have reported 797 patients. 11,700 infected persons have been found so far after the New Year period. A total of 108,144 corona patients have been reported by this morning. 96,000 have completely recovered from the virus. 11 COVID-related deaths have been reported by this morning, increasing the deaths to 678. Meanwhile, 10,500 are under quarantine at 113 army quarantine centers. That ends main news story.
The main news story was brought to you by Siddhalepa Veda Mahatmya. Brush your teeth twice a day for healthy teeth and gums. Supiriviki and Kakulu, your trusted brands in oral care for many years.
Supiriviki Ayurvedic toothpaste for adults. Kakulu Ayurvedic toothpaste for kids. 9 Ayurvedic ingredients of Supiriviki will protect your teeth and strengthen your gums. Supiriviki and Kakulu, products from Siddhalepa.
Moving on to Watchlight, the Presidential Secretariat has announced that it is continuously maintaining public services. President's Public Relations Division can be contacted over telephone numbers 0114 354 550 and 0112 354 550 during next 2 weeks. The Ombudsman Office can be contacted over the telephone number 0112 338 073. The President's Fund can be contacted by calling over the telephone number 0112 354 354. That ends Watchlight. Moving on to world news, let's take a look at the headlines. Australians could face jail or fines if they return from India. Mars Ingenuity helicopter mission extended by NASA. The Grammy Awards scrap controversial voting committees. World news in detail. Australian citizens returning home from India could face up to 5 years in jail and fines after the government made the journey temporarily legal. The health minister said the ruling had been made based on the proportion of people in quarantine who have acquired a COVID-19 infection in India. There are an estimated 9,000 Australians in India, 600 of whom are classed as vulnerable. This will be the first time Australians have been criminalized for returning to their country. The U.S. Space Agency has announced it's extending its Mars helicopter mission. NASA said the first 3 flights of the drone called Ingenuity had worked so well it would now be moving from the demonstration to an operational phase. This means the chopper will now support NASA's Perseverance rover, helping with its hunt for signs of life. The new phase will last for another 30 Martian days or sols, but the team said they are hopeful it could be extended further. The organizers of the Grammy Awards have scrapped their anonymous voting committees following allegations of rigging, favoritism and racism. The Recording Academy said its voting members, which run into thousands, would instead select New Year's nominations and winners. Stars such as Zayn Malik and Halsey had claimed the selection process was unfair and lacked transparency. Artists of color have long criticized the awards for a lack of diversity. To wrap up the world news, let's take a look at the headlines once again. Australians could face jail or fines if they return from India. Mars Ingenuity helicopter mission extended by NASA. Grammy Awards scrapped controversial voting committees. That ends world news. Moving on to development news. Organic fertilizer needed by the farmers will be given from Maha season. Agriculture Minister Mahindananda Alutkamaga said that organic fertilizer needed for Yala season has been imported. Importing of chemical fertilizer has been banned at present. He said the president has planned 2 years ago to end the use of chemical fertilizer in the country. That ends development news.
Contributory deposit of 1,000 rupees from NSB when your child enters grade 1. Open a Hapan Children's Service account for your kid today. Higher interest. Conditions apply. Business News. Sponsored by National Savings Bank. The safest place for your money.
Strong top-line performance for the 3 months to March this year amid strong sales of apartments in the final 2 phases of Havelock City project. Kicking off the March earnings season this week, the company reported over 200% increase in the apartment sales during the 3 months ended on 31st March 2021 compared to the same period last year. That ends Business News.
Business News. Sponsored by National Savings Bank. The safest place for your money. Contributory deposit of 1,000 rupees from NSB when your child enters grade 1. Open a Hapan Children's Service account for your kid today. Higher interest. Conditions apply.
Moving on to sports news, cricket news. Today is the 3rd day of the second test between Sri Lanka and Bangladesh at Pallekele International Stadium in Kandy. Sri Lanka declared their first innings when they were 493 for 7 wickets. Bangladesh was 99 for 2 wickets at lunch today. Boxing news, Sunny Edwards produced a sublime display to inflict a first defeat on Moruti Mathlena in 13 years and became IBF World Flyweight Champion. The British fighters served up 36 minutes of energy and movement to avoid the heavy-handed South African. The classy display earned a unanimous 118 to 111, 120 to 108, 115 to 113 points win. Football news. Substitute Emil Forsberg scored a dramatic late extra-time winner against Werder Bremen to send RB Leipzig through to the German Cup final. Forsberg's 121st minute volley gave Leipzig the 2-1 win after both teams had failed to score in normal time. Wang Hee-chen put Leipzig ahead of 93 minutes before Bremen levelled through the Leonardo Betancourts at the end of the first period of extra time. Formula One news, Lewis Hamilton headed Max Verstappen by 0.143 seconds to lead the way in second practice at the Portuguese Grand Prix. The second Mercedes of the Valtteri Bottas was third quickest, ahead of Ferrari's Carlos Sainz and Alpine's Fernando Alonso and Esteban Ocon. It is the first time this season that Hamilton has topped a practice session. That ends the sports news.
Economic news, courtesy of...
Saving money isn't easy when you have responsibility. That's why we promise to give you the best returns and guarantee on your investment. LOLC Finance Fixed Deposits. Maximize your savings. LOLC Finance PLC, incorporated on the 13th of December 2001, is rated SLA stable by ICRA Lanka Limited and is licensed by the Monetary Board of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka under the Finance Business Act number 42 of 2011.
Sri Lanka's housing market gained steam after the central bank cut interest rates to record lows and set a ceiling rate since December last year, sending the price of housing soars. The The housing price in Sri Lanka have gained by over 20% since the second quarter in 2020 through the first quarter this year, entering a period of one of the highest gains in prices of houses in Sri Lanka after a long time. That came to you in economic news.
I bought my daughter a laptop for her work by managing my finances. Whatever the expenses may be, I can't afford to miss out on life's special moments like her birthday or our anniversary. So you need to invest to make your family's future flourish.
Saving money isn't easy when you have responsibilities. That's why we promise to give you the best returns on your investment. LOLC Finance Fixed Deposits. Maximize your savings. LOLC Finance PLC, incorporated on the 13th of December 2001, is rated SLA stable by ICRA Lanka Limited and is licensed by the Monetary Board of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka under the Finance Business Act number 42 of 2011.
Weather Report was sponsored by
Dialogue, in partnership with the Ministry of Education, introduces Nanasa, a trilingual educational mobile app with video-based lessons for grade 1 to A levels. Now your child can study with ease on your mobile with no subscription fee.
The Met Department says showery conditions over the western, Sabaragamuwa, central, southern and Ubud provinces is likely to enhance up to some extent during next few days. Showers or thundershowers will occur in the most part of the island during the evening of night. Showers or thundershowers will occur in the western, southern and northwestern provinces. Heavy rainfalls about 100 mm can be expected at some places in western, Sabaragamuwa, central and Ubud provinces and in Galle and Mathura, including Polonnaruwa districts. That ends the weather report.
Weather Report was sponsored by
Dialogue, in partnership with the Ministry of Education, introduces Nanasa, a trilingual educational mobile app with video-based lessons for grade 1 to A levels. Now your child can study with ease on your mobile with no subscription fee.
To wrap up the afternoon news on Radio Sri Lanka, let's take a look at the headlines once again. More Gram and Niladhari divisions isolated. All activities in hotels, including parties, gatherings, events, pubs and nightclubs, will be prohibited. Court proceedings will be limited from 3rd to 7th of this month. Considering of opening of schools postponed. Foreign news, Australians could face jail or fines if they return from India. Sports news, cricket, Bangladesh loses quick wickets in the second test against Sri Lanka. Entertainment news, Grammy Awards scrap controversial voting committees. That ends afternoon news on Radio Sri Lanka. Back to my good friend and yours, Asanka.